All right, so Dustin the Diamond Poirier, a man that is a UFC favorite. It goes without question, okay? The man will be in the Hall of Fame one day. Right now, he's never become the undisputed lightweight champion of the world. He was the interim. He failed in his bid to get the undisputed against Khabib Nurmagomedov. And next week, he's going up against Benoit Saint-Denis at UFC 299, going down in Miami, a 5-round co-main event. And he's saying that this potentially could be the last fight of his storied UFC career. And I'll tell you what, it's going to be a sad day when the Diamond decides to hang up the gloves, but it might be coming. Listen, the man is 35 years old and he's going up against Benoit Saint-Denis, which is a bit of a change for Dustin Poirier. If you think about Dustin, he fights the top names. He fights the big stars. He fights the fan favorites and anybody that's in the top 5, okay? We're talking a who's who: Michael Chandler, Conor McGregor, Justin Gaethje, Khabib Nurmagomedov. The list goes on. This is the type of fighters that he goes up against. Now he's going down in the rankings. He's fighting number 12, France's own Benoit Saint-Denis, the former French Special Forces. This man's a badass. He's on a crazy win streak. He's finishing everybody. Last time out at Madison Square Garden, he knocked out Matt Favola with a stunning head kick. The same head kick, the exact same head kick that Justin Gaethje knocked out Dustin Poirier with. So he was talking to TMZ this week, and this is why he said that he's fighting Benoit Saint-Denis, why he's going down in the rankings. He said, to test myself, really. You got to respect that. He said, I want to see if I've still got it. This guy is young, hungry, on a streak. He has finished all of his last 5 opponents. That makes me nervous. So I want to toss myself in the fire. That's where I feel I do my best work. And those are the kind of fighters that I want to fight. Guys who are willing to leave it all out there, showing grit. They fight for finishes. Those are the kind of fights that I want to be involved in. So listen, I'm in number 1 again. If you don't respect him for the fight career, respect him for those words. He knows how tough of a fight this is. He knows Benoit Saint-Denis is a straight killer outside the octagon and inside the octagon. Only got 1 loss on his record, 13-1. The 1 loss was when he stepped up on short notice, went up a weight class and took on Eliseo Zaleski dos Santos. And he lost a decision, but it got him in the UFC. Since then, the man's been on fire, finishing everybody. Nicholas Stolze, Gabriel Miranda, Ismael Bonfim, Thiago Moises, Matt Favola, all finishes, okay? So the Diamond has got him to say, look, listen, he recognizes that this is a tough fight and this might be the last time that we see him fight inside the octagon. He said, listen, when he was asked by TMZ Sports, will this be your last fight? He said, every fight could be my last fight. Every single fight. It's where I'm at. I'm 35 years old and this is my 30th fight in the UFC. Every fight could be it. And I'm telling you, if he goes out there and he loses the same way he loses to Gaethje, then maybe he does. The reality is, for Dustin Poirier, right, he's made a lot of money. He's done it all, right? Granted, he hasn't been the undisputed champion. But if he loses to Benoit Saint-Denis, right, maybe that's not in his future. And maybe that's just him coming to terms with it and saying, you know what? I turned my life around. I'm a kid from New Orleans. I have done incredible things. I've made incredible amounts of money. I've traveled the world. I've got the respect of the fight community. He's got his own goddamn hot sauce. Apparently that makes him a ton of money. The 3 fights with Conor McGregor, certainly the last 2, he would have got paid handsomely for. I know that Donald Cerrone came out recently and said he didn't get a red panty night. Well, that's that situation. I'm sure Dustin Poirier's got a great manager, and I'm sure certainly for that 3rd fight that he got paid very handsomely for. And certainly in New Orleans, that kind of money goes a very, very long way. And if he doesn't win, well, what's he going to do? As I say, he's been there, done it. He's had the legendary wars. He's got the respect. He's got the money. Get out while you're still young. And he ain't that young either. He's 35 years old. And we know the curse of the 35-year-olds. Volkanovski played up to it, paid the ultimate price, got knocked out in the 2nd round. No disrespect to Volk. Looking forward to the comeback if that does happen. But 35 years old does seem to be the tipping point. That does seem to be the age. As I say, it's not a made-up number. They didn't come out with this stat for nothing. It's not a curse that they just made up. The history books show at 35 years old in the lighter weight classes, it becomes way harder to win your fights. And let's be honest, this isn't an easy fight. Benoit might be ranked number 12, but when you compare him to some of the people that Dustin's been fighting recently, there's not much difference. Listen, Justin Gaethje is incredible, okay? Before that, it was Michael Chandler. Again, super exciting fighter, former Bellator champion. Benoit Saint-Denis can compete with these people. Then he lost to Charles Oliveira. Okay, all right. Charles is the man. Charles lost to Islam pretty convincingly, but before that was finishing everybody. Then it was the 2 wins against Conor McGregor. Then it was a decision over Dan Hooker. What I'm saying is Conor McGregor the same Conor that was starching people at 145 pounds? Probably not. Dan Hooker is an incredible fighter, a tremendous kickboxer. The victory that he had over Jalen Turner showed that Dan Hooker still got it. But that was a very competitive fight. Before that, it was Khabib Nurmagomedov. Now, granted, before that, he beat Max Holloway, Eddie Alvarez, Justin Gaethje. Worth remembering, Poirier's 1-on-1 with Justin Gaethje, so maybe they've got unsettled business. He's probably got unsettled business with Conor McGregor. That would be another gigantic payday. If McGregor ever bloody does come back, of course there's unfinished business with Nate Diaz, there's unfinished business with Michael Chandler, or business that hasn't even started. But of course, there is another fight with Dustin Poirier. Remember, he broke his leg. That was the start of the massive break for Conor McGregor, and I'm sure he wants to try and settle that score. But he's had an incredible career. Anthony Pettis, Eddie Alvarez, Jim Miller. Back in the day, took out Max Holloway when he made his UFC debut. I mean, you got to go back all the way to, where is it? 2011. He's been fighting at the highest level for 13 years. And I would understand that if he goes out there and loses to Benoit Saint-Denis, and as I say, that's a very real reality. Okay, because Benoit has a similar kind of kicking style to Justin Gaethje. He certainly has that kind of power when he's taking some of the people out. That left kick, the high kick, or whether it's to the body, is very dangerous. When you look at it on paper as well, all the advantages are on the side of Benoit Saint-Denis. He's younger, 28 versus 35. He's taller. He's got a longer reach, and the momentum is on his side as well. As I say, won 5 in a row, finished 5 in a row. But granted, this is the next level. This is a step up for Benoit Saint-Denis. So for Dustin Poirier, this could be the last time we ever see him. So if it is, make sure you bloody tune in. I'm not trying to sell pay-per-views, but this man needs to be respected. 30 fights in the UFC, 13 years in the UFC, some of the wars, some of the excitement, some of the adrenaline rushes that his performances have given us. I mean, come on. Dustin Poirier takes a bow. But on the flip side, Benoit Saint-Denis, as I say, he's going to prove that he can compete with the big dogs. He's got less wear and tear on the body. The man's never been knocked out. He's never been submitted. He's got a high-level jiu-jitsu game, 9 submissions on his record. He has got knockout power, even though he's only got 4 knockouts, okay? And he's young, he's hungry, and he wants to represent France and become the face of French MMA. This is a ridiculously good fight, but the consequences for both men are gigantic. For Dustin Poirier, if he loses, it kind of makes sense. I'm not saying he should retire, but I understand what he's saying. He's done it all. He's been there. He's got the T-shirt. He's made the cash. Go and live your life, brother, and enjoy the Hall of Fame ceremony. And for Benoit Saint-Denis, if he loses, it's not the end of the road, far from it. It just means that he's not quite ready to crack into the top 5 and maybe challenge for the belt in the near future. Anyway, went off on a tangent there about Dustin Poirier. A lot of respect for this man. UFC 299 going to be another incredible fight card. People saying that UFC 299 is better than 300. Who gives a shit? Why are you complaining about that? It just shows how good the UFC is at the minute. UFC 298, 299, and 300 are all absolutely ridiculous. And I, for one, am very excited. Anyway, there it is. There's the video. Saturday morning, wherever you are in the world. By the time you see this, I'll be at the Apex commentating Jairzinho Rozenstruik taking on the undefeated Shamil Gaziev. Tune in, ESPN, TNT Sports, wherever the bloody hell you are in the world, and whatever TV station plays them. Enjoy the fights, enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you soon.